Hello, hello. We are back with Chapter 10, Probability, discussing Lesson 1, Probability. And this is the guided practice. So I want you to go ahead and try problems 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your own. You're going to tell whether the event is impossible, unlikely, as likely as not, likely, or certain. So those are going to be your choices. All right, here's our friend the pause dragon. Remind you to pause. Go ahead and work these problems out. Press play, and then we'll come back and talk about them. All right, we're back. The number 1 says rolling a number greater than 6 on a number cube later labeled 1 through 6. So if we have a number cube that's labeled 1 through 6, like this one is, what is the probability of rolling a number that is greater than 6? Well, that's totally impossible. There's no numbers that are greater than 6. So there you go. Number 1's impossible. Okay, how about number 2, flipping a coin and getting heads? Is that impossible, unlikely, as likely as not, likely, or certain? Well, we all know that a coin, you have either heads or tails. And you could get either. So flipping a coin and getting heads, I would say, is as likely as not. So you have the same chance of getting a heads as you have as getting a tails. As likely as not. So here we go with the next one, problem 3. Drawing a red or blue marble from a bag of red and blue marbles. So if you have a bag of nothing but red and blue marbles, what's the probability of drawing a red or blue marble? Well, it's certain because all there is red and blue marbles. So the probability would definitely be certain, or just, it would be certain that you draw one of those colors. Okay, problem 4. State spinning a number less than 3 on a spinner with 8 equal sections marked 1 through 8. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a picture of this. Sometimes when there's things, I just like to draw a picture. So I'm going to divide it into 4s real quick. And then to divide it into 8s, I would just divide each one of those 4s in half. And then I have my 8s. So I'm going to call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. So spinning a number less than 3 on a spinner with 8 equal sections marked 1 through 8. So if it was less than 3 would just be 1. 1 is less than 3. And 2 is less than 3. But 3 is not less than 3. So there's 2 out of the 8 options. So would that be impossible? Well, it's not impossible. Unlikely? Yeah, there's more. You have more of a chance of spinning something greater. As likely as not. Does it have the same amount? No. Likely or certain? No, it's none of those. So I would say it's unlikely. Okay. Problem 6. Rolling a number less than 6 on a number cube labeled 1 through 6. Oh, here's our number cube again. So remember 1 through 6, rolling a number that is less than 6. Well, there's only one option that is a 6, and everything else on this number cube is less than a 6. So I would say that it would be, it's not certain, but it would be likely. So if you got all those ones right, great job. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page. Okay, here we go with problem 6. We have problem 6, 7, 8, and 9 on this page, and I want you to go ahead and try them out. So go ahead, work the problems out. When you get done, make sure you show your work. So press pause now. When you get done, go ahead and press play, and we'll talk about it. All right, see you in a bit. See you in a bit. All right, we are back with problem 6. Let's see how you did. It says a bag contains 4 red marbles, 3 green marbles, and 2 yellow marbles. The probability of randomly picking a yellow marble is 2/9. What is the probability of not picking a yellow marble? Remember when we did this, we can find that by just taking the whole, or 1, and subtracting the probability of yellow. So if picking a yellow marble is 2/9, then if we subtract it from 1, we're going to find the probability of not picking a yellow. So to do this, we got to get a common denominator, so I'm going to make that 1. Between 1 and 9, the common denominator would be 9, so I'm going to multiply the bottom and the top by 9. So we have the probability is 9 over 9 minus 2/9. And then we just subtract, right? So 9 take away 2 would be 7 divided by, we keep the same denominator, and there we have it. Probability equals 7/9. Boom! If you got that one right, great job. Okay, number 7, it states a number cube is labeled 1 through 6. The probability of randomly rolling a 4 is 1/6. What is the probability of not rolling a 4? Okay, so not rolling a 4, we're just going to take the probability and subtract the probability of rolling a 4 and subtract that from 1, which is our whole. And then we're just going to get a common denominator. Got to make that a fraction. The common denominator between 1 and 6 would be 6. So we end up with 6 over 6 minus 1/6. And yeah, 6 take away 1 would be 5 over 6. And the probability of not rolling a 4 would be 5/6. So if you got both those right, woohoo! All right, on to problem 8. Problem 8 says, tell whether the event is impossible, unlikely, as likely as not, likely, or certain. Okay, so problem 8 states Janelle almost never eats beef. On Monday, the school cafeteria offers 3 main choices. The choices are hamburger, tuna, or a turkey sandwich. Estimate the probability that Janelle will choose a hamburger. Well, it says she almost never eats beef. So because it says she almost never eats beef, that means sometimes she still does eat beef on occasion. So it can't be impossible, because it's possible at one point or another she might eat it, even though she doesn't really eat it that much. So because of that, I would say that this one is unlikely. The probability of this happening is unlikely. All right, let's go on to problem 9. Problem 9 says Tyrone rides his bicycle to school if he gets up by 7:15. Okay, so Tyrone rides his bicycle to school if he gets up by 7:15 a.m. Tyrone gets up by 7:15 a.m. about half the time. Estimate the probability that Tyrone will ride his bike to school. Well, because he gets up half of the time by 7:15, then I would say that it would be as likely as not, because he is as likely to get up by 7:15 as he's likely to not get up by 7:15. So for this one, we would say as likely as not. Okay? If you got all those right, you did a great job, and we will see you next time.